Hello, my name is Pierre Gian. I am a solution consultant with EZLease, and today I'll be taking you through a quick tour of EZLease. EZLease helps you achieve sustainable compliance in less than a day, help you move off spreadsheets to automate lease accounting and comply with the latest standards. So AAC 842, IFRS 16, GASB 87, and 96. Today we'll be focusing on a GASB 87 example. Whether you have a couple leases or hundreds of them, managing this process with spreadsheets does not work. Adopting a new lease accounting standard is a significant challenge. It is even more difficult to sustain compliance for you in the long run. EZLease is a simple but powerful and fast lease accounting solution that delivers compliance without the risk. It takes a few minutes to set up EZLease and less than a day to load in and validate your leases, whether your clients are lessee or lessor. Our customers are switching from spreadsheets to EZLease to make it easier to manage their lease accurately, keep up with leases changing, and quickly generating the right reports. Let's walk you through how easy it is to get started. The example we'll be using today is a GASB 87 lessee. Please take note that all the capabilities are also available under IFRS, US GAAP, and could also be from the lessor's perspective. All of the aforementioned functionality is standard and has been available for years. In this section, we'll be discussing setting up our system options within EZLease. So once you do have access to EZLease, the first thing we'd want to do is click on File and System Options. And EZLease only needs three things for you to getting started in adding leases onto EZLease itself. First is determine the accounting standard. So here we do have a drop down of the different accounting standards we do have. So US GAAP, IFRS, and GASB. So we'll keep this as GASB for now. The second step is the fiscal dates tab. So this is where you would put your fiscal year end and also your calendar structure. Here I do have it as June 30th, so 6/30 year end and regular dates by calendar month. But you can go ahead and adjust those as necessary. So if you do have a 12 fiscal period or 13 fiscal period, you can go ahead and adjust as necessary. And lastly, we just need the dates for the new standard. So the implementation and application date for GASB 87. Here I do have it as 7/1/2021, but you can go ahead and adjust those dates as necessary. But those are the three steps, and now you're able to start adding leases onto EZLease. I did want to touch on a couple more features within the system options. One is the text tab. So this is where you would put user-defined fields. So anything you want to define further into your leases, use them as column delineators. Here I do have fund code, program code, department, and VIN number as a couple examples. We do also have the account numbering button, and this is where you would put your charts of accounts. So these would pop out into journal entries or other reports, and you can have multiple account numbering groups. And then we do also have notice dates. So this is where you would get notifications for either rent changes or lease expirations, and these would pop out to the dashboard itself and also to EZLease every time you launch it. So just quick information for you there. Next, we'll be discussing adding and loading leases onto EZLease. So with EZLease, there are two ways to add leases. So one is individually, so manually through the system itself, or else we can do it in bulk, where a key differentiator with EZLease is that we do have the bulk import template. So I'll be showing you both ways to add leases with EZLease in this video. But first we'll go over how to manually add a lease. So the first thing we'd want to do is click on Add New Lease. And here we would start with a lease number. So if I put 123 example as the lease number, and then we just need a starting date. So I'm going to put this as 7/1/2021 and run this until 6/30/2029. And here we would just have to put an incremental borrowing rate, the current economic life, fair value if it is determinable, or else we can just click fair value not determinable, and also the rent steps for these. So here I'm just going to put this as $3,000 per month. So those are all the required fields you would have to fill out. So it's all efficiently on the main data tab. If you do have any additional data you want to put in, like lease incentives, the guaranteed residual, unguaranteed residual, salvage value, you can go ahead and do that through the additional data tab. We do also have reasonably certain purchase option checkbox. Also, if you do have payments in advance or else in arrears, we would go ahead and uncheck this as well. But here we do have all the required fields. So once I do click on Save Lease, it will import and also classify the lease and calculate the right of use asset. So adding a lease through the system is very simple. Next, I did want to show loading those leases in. So here I'm going to show you an example of the bulk import template. Everything highlighted in blue is a required field, and if you need help determining what a field requires, you can click on the header itself, and here will just pop up a short description and what format it is looking for. So the same required fields in the system as well. So here there's only 6 required fields. Then the second tab you need is the rent tab. So this is where you would put your rent payments for your leases themselves. So if we look specifically at that headquarters office lease, we can see there are 2 rent steps. So one is a $0 one-time payment, so a rent-free period for the month of January. Then for the rest of the lease, it was $5,000 per month. And we can also change the frequency of these payments from one-time all the way to yearly based off of your lease information. And here I'll show you how easy it is to load those leases in with EZLease. All we have to do is go into File and Lease Upload and select our file and click Load. And while it is loading the data, it is validating the quality of data we give it. So if we did have a warning, let's say an incremental borrowing rate was way too high, so let's say 200%, it would pop up a warning to let you know this specific lease, please look over this lease. But here we do have 60 leases uploaded and 73 new rent steps. And here we can see this Austin, Texas office building lease. We can see it imported, it also classified the asset and also calculated the right of use asset. And also if I click on lease list, we can see the list of all the leases we did upload. So now we are good to go. All the journal entries are computed and the asset is amortized. So we are done with our part in asset accounting. So here we do have an Arlington 10th floor office building. And on the right hand side, we do have that transactions column. So just the description of what's going on. So always good for audit. And then the column to the left of that, column H, we do have the account numbers. So if we did set those up within the system options, it would pop out to the spreadsheets as well. So here is the example of our disclosures table. Here we do have it running for the whole year of 2022 and a comparative year for 2021. And here it is outlined to me the cost and also the right of use assets and the amortization. And the last report I did want to show is an amortization schedule. So here we do have an example of the Arlington 10th floor office building. And the first things you'll see is the initial right of use asset and initial liability calculated. And it is financed at a 1.5% rate. And then we do have our finance lease rent, liability paid, interest paid, non-lease components, and amortization. And as we go through the periods, it will zero out. Again, this was a GASB 87 example, but as you saw, there are some selections within EZLease to select IFRS or US GAAP. So that's all out of the box, and there were other configurations that we didn't really address, such as 13 period or 445 calendar or other types of complexities. So all kinds of customers that are different sizes are using EZLease for simple, fast compliance. As a next step, I would recommend that you would try our free trial version of EZLease that's available over at our website. Thank you very much for listening.